Hi, this is Ruby Rose, founder of Iru. Super pleased to be here with Laura Gordon, who is a mediator in Virginia. And we're going to be talking about the mediation process. There's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of people who go out there on Facebook asking people random questions and getting really bad answers that are misleading or misguiding them and, taking them down a bad path. So we're here to debunk all these myths and really talk about what is the process? How do you start? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? How does it work in Virginia? All those kinds of questions that we know are in your mind right now and that Laura has graciously offered to answer for us. So thank you so much for being here, Laura. Really looking forward to hearing your insights.
Oh, thank you so much, Ravi, for having me here today.
My pleasure. All right.
Oh,
So tell us what we need to know about mediation.
oh goodness, there's so much.
Mhm.
I was like, so first of all, in Virginia, mediation is a voluntary process. Unlike some other states, sometimes it's mandatory, but no, in Virginia, it's voluntary. So what happens in mediation when parties decide they want to go through mediation? Number one, there are two ways. One is when they're working with situations such as like custody and visitation, child support, they can actually go to their local courts in Virginia and file a petition and request mediation. And then you can get a court certified mediator to help assist the process and help assist the parties. Uh, Outside of that, parties can actually look for private mediators. In terms of when they're looking to, they're separating assets and they've filed for a divorce, and now they're like, well, what's the next step? How do we talk about separating these assets? How do we talk about how we're going to raise our children? And the intimate conversations that sometimes get removed, or I want to say, kind of covered up by some of all the legal processes that go involved when parties decide to litigate, unfortunately. So in mediation, parties can come together, they can look for a mediator. I suggest that parties interview a couple mediators, find out who is that fit, who is a person, a mediator who will help. They both parties feel like they are understood and they are heard, and that there is compassion. So, excuse me, I got my little cat here. With that said, that's why I tell parties, make sure you feel comfortable and you trust the person who's going to be leading you through these really difficult conversations. And in terms of like my services, when I'm working with clients and in private mediations, I will speak with the parties directly. Trust is the most important thing I find in terms of if I'm a partner with both of them to help them through this next chapter, they need to trust. So we chat intimately. Then we start out with collecting some information. I ask parties, come prepared. Mediation is the most important thing. The more prepared you are, the easier it is to talk about certain subjects and things like that. So I have parties to bring documentation, their finances, their intentions. What would they like to see if they have children in terms of parenting time? Have those things outlined. Then as we dive into the process of mediation, sometimes people take several sessions because they realize there are things that they didn't really think about. So as a mediator, sometimes we'll send them back and say, okay, let's come back to the table once we have X, Y, and Z. Mediators are here to help parties expand and explore conversations to bring some clarity so they can make more informed decisions. Unlike, and actually, and I'll say too, parties will have attorneys sometimes, and that's totally fine. As mediators, we want parties to feel supported every step of the way as they're moving through this really difficult time in their life. So, being able to have peace and clarity and identify what their intentions are as they move through this is just critical, I guess. Is passion of mine to ensure that clients feel that way.
So,
Once in mediation, oh, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Essentially, mediation is that you are sitting with the two parties. And in
Yes,
terms of litigation, or not even litigation, having a lawyer, is that it's one party to one lawyer. So the beauty here is that in mediation, you could have open conversations, whereas the lawyer can tell you the law, can tell you your rights, can tell you like share information and things like that, right?
correct, correct, correct.
Okay.
Mediator is neutral, we're balanced, and we're there to talk with both parties. Where, like you said, with an attorney is there to defend and represent the rights and the legal insight and direction to that party. But in mediation, we really expand on that. Not to, as mediators, we cannot give legal advice and
Yeah.
so forth. So we do encourage parties to have attorneys. But we help the parties. It's such a collaborative process. And even when it doesn't feel collaborative, we can always, as mediators, work with parties one on one. So it's kind of called like a shuttle method.
Yeah.
And that can be really beneficial, especially when parties feel really triggered just being in the same room, the same space with that person and trying to really kind of find direction in what they want. So doing a shuttle method can be really beneficial.
Okay. And so one of the things that you mentioned before is really having the intentions. So what intentions do you have in mind? Like what if someone comes into your office or first meeting and doesn't really know what they want? I'm sure that the conversations will be very different compared to someone who comes and says, I know exactly what I want and we've talked about it and this is what we figured out. So do the parties have to figure this out before they come to you? Or is this like an open conversation where they figure out the details with you?
hmm So both. I encourage parties to come to have as much understanding as they are able to. As a mediator, I help describe the process, how to plan, I send them information to how to prepare for mediation. But part of my process and my services is also to guide and expand on areas that maybe they didn't realize that they can discuss in mediation.
Mm.
So they don't, no, they do not have to come prepared.
Okay.
I help parties to bring clarification and intention to them. I'll give you an example. So sometimes parties will come in and one party will want spousal support. So we'll talk through that. What does that mean? I may run numbers just depending on the criteria of information that I received. Well, that information might bring up other discussions. Well, why do they need the spousal support? And then the other party might respond back with intentions of what they were looking to provide in lieu of. And then we get to these discussions, but we expand upon one subject and try to get to the goal of what really they are wanting and feeling is fair as an outcome.
So I like that because it's really more of a conversation and not what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine, and all of that. So that's really the most important
Mhm.
piece. So wherever you are in your divorce process, whether you're contemplating, whether you're separated and you're looking for some help and you're not sure what to do, how to do it, where to start, where to get started, best first thing to do is contact Laura. Have a conversation with her and let's see if and how she could help you so that you could have a clear definition. Please, please, please don't rely on information you see and you hear on Facebook or from your friends and family members. We have seen all too many people listen to other people's advice and recommendations that were wrong and misleading, and we don't want that for you. So please do have a conversation with Laura. You can feel free to DM her right here below. And I'm sure she'd be delighted to help you and provide you guidance and direction as to what you could do and how you can get started right now. Thank you so much, Laura, for being here. Thank you for all this wonderful wisdom and insights that you've shared with us today. Thank you all for watching. Until the next time we speak, I wish you all a day that matters. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.